Greetings and welcome to Soul Note Shamanic Sound Healing. I'm Lori Shansky, Shamanic Sound Healer, and I welcome you today. We're going to be talking about how to use crystal bowls to bring about a shamanic sound healing for yourself, for others, for the planet. And you might be wondering, what is shamanic sound healing? And how does it differ from regular sound healing? In shamanic sound healing, we are very intentionally and mindfully connecting with the divine realms in non-ordinary reality. Spirit helpers, guides, power animals, teaching spirits in human form, gods, goddesses, deities that we may be familiar with, or that we may be calling in for the very first time. And we incorporate this divine knowledge and power to bring accuracy and potency to our sound healing. In addition, these helpers facilitate a management of energy that helps with the clearing and the release of those things that no longer serve us. And they also help us call in those qualities, that soul essence, those vibrations that we most need, that will bring nourishment to our bodies, to our minds, to our spirit, to our souls. And so we get into communion and we create a very intentional sacred hoop, a container where we can just give over to the divine. And in fact, when we begin to do shamanic sound healing, we learn and discover that we are conduits of the divine. And we open up those channels to the compassionate, benevolent spirits. And they move through us using the sounds that we make, the sound of the bowl and in our voices, to bring about high vibrational energy medicine that is nourishing and has the most potent, benevolent outcome. And so this bowl that I am using today came to me as a gift. I call this my abundance bowl. And it came to me as I was unpeeling the layers around my heart around prosperity and giving and providing. And I was doing this over and over again in a variety of circumstances. And as I was getting to the crux of what was keeping my heart closed, I had an opening. And the very next day, I get this email. Hi, so-and-so referred you to me. I'm moving. I can't bring my big G bowl with me. Would you like to come over and see if it wants to go home with you? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I went over to her house, and it was all boxed up, and it was like, oh, I need to connect with it to see if I'm going to be purchasing it or not. And she said, I'm not selling it to you. I am gifting it to you. And so all of those dominoes of holding just went over and over and over and over and over. And suddenly I was initiated and inoculated with this great frequency of appreciating and calling in abundance and also transmitting abundance. And so these bowls are not just physical items. They become a spiritual partner. And there are a lot of people who use singing bowls. And when I use these bowls, and when I'm working with my clients and my students, we are not only playing the bowl, but we are singing and getting into partnership. And so it's easy to play a singing bowl, it's easy to play tuning forks, but when you step in with courage and join the bowl with your voice, amazing things can happen. For our voice is this amazing creative tool. And when we take a breath and then we start singing, that breath gets imbued by the heart chakra on its way up the throat and out the mouth. And so as we hold intentions and sing with these singing bowls, the intentions and our love and our heartfelt yearning gets encoded in that sound and intertwines with the spiritual frequencies of the bowl to bring about the most potent manifestation and transformation, setting those intentions into motion in the most almost unimaginable, powerful way. And so I invite you to take a little adventure with me today, and perhaps it will inspire you to go out and find a bowl that wants to be in partnership with you. And so I'm going to work with this bowl, and while I'm working with it, I will be giving a few pointers on how to best cultivate your partnership with it. And then you get to go out, find a bowl, and experiment. Okay, let's get started. So there are a variety of bowls out there. This is a G bowl. That means that its principal note is G, but it also reverberates several other notes that are mathematically related to the note of G. I'm not going to get into the math of that. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who follow this principle that there's a note for each chakra. And it's a system that's been working and worked with for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. However, my feeling is, and my experience with all of my students, we've been investigating this with my clients, we find that any bowl of any note can bring about a shift in any chakra, and that it's all about intention. In fact, sound healing and shamanic sound healing, the very critical piece of anything that we do is all about intention. And so when you're out investigating bowls, it's important for you to feel what you feel like in the presence of this bowl. And I'm also going to be encouraging you. I know it can be a little scary when you're in some kind of shop, but I want you to consider singing with the bowl and find out if it's a good match to the range of your voice. My very first bowl that I bought with my head. It was like, oh, the F note. I want an F because I want to be working with my heart. And so I went into the shop and Oh, there was an F bowl. Cool. Must have my name on it. I brought it back home, and this was the very first bowl I bought, and I was very inexperienced with all of this. And I started playing with the bowl, and it was like chalk fingernails on a chalkboard. It was like, oh my gosh, this does not resonate with me. And it was too high for my voice. I have a pretty low voice, as you can notice. And so I gave that bowl away. And then I began to experiment and going into different shops and playing each bowl and feeling what it felt like. How did my energy system resonate with this bowl? And how did I notice the partnership of my voice could be best cultivated? And one by one, I began to collect these bowls. And fortunately, this G bowl, which I brought home sight unseen, was perfect for matching my voice. And so it's really important when you're out there looking for bowls that you take some time and really feel into the vibration of that bowl. Strikers are also very critical. This is my favorite striker. It was purchased with another bowl down in Shasta, and it has a smooth edge here and a leather edge here, and there's just a really nice heaviness, and it's pretty thick. There are a lot of strikers out there that almost feel like they're made out of cardboard. This one is wonderful, and in fact, I pretty much use this one with all of my crystal bowls now. And so you want to find out what kind of striker they have that's going with the bowl. This is another kind of striker, and I am mixed about it. I like it for some things, and I like it for some things, and sometimes I just am not in the mood. You know, this is a feeling, emotional, energetic process. It's not anything you do with your brain, although having a brain helps. So this is what this striker sounds like. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding the striker almost parallel with the surface of the edge of the bowl. And I like to tap the bowl first. And then with a certain amount of pressure, I'm keeping the striker nearly parallel with the wall of the bowl. Notice my fingers, my hand is about 2 or 3 inches above where I'm stroking the bowl. And you'll have to experiment with how much pressure you need to place on the bowl. So that's the mechanics of playing the bowl. The rubber striker, you have to pay a little bit more attention because you want to make sure that it's the rubber part that's massaging the bowl and not the wooden part. And let's see if we can hear a difference. Again, notice the position of my hand, about 3 inches above the rim of the bowl. The striker is pretty much parallel with the wall of the bowl. And there's a slight sound of friction that I can hear of the striker rubbing against the bowl. And then I like to dampen the bowl by putting my finger like that. So, what I'd like you to do is bring to mind and then into the heart a particular intention that you would like to manifest. It could be a physical shift. It could be a mental shift. It could be some kind of transformation that you're looking for in a relationship, in a family or work situation. Or perhaps you just want to transmit and radiate out wellness out into your home or your workspace, your city, your community, the country, the globe. But you really want to have a heartfelt connection. And then we're going to call in, we're going to do a brief invocation of compassionate helping spirits. And there's a spirit of this bowl as well. And different compassionate ones come into the bowl like a cauldron and work with the intentions and the voice and the magic that gets stirred up. I always often think of this as a cauldron of magic, that we're stirring up potential and actual transformation and healing and creation. And so we're just going to open up the gateways, the portals to the divine. And I send a voice out with my heart light, calling forth those compassionate, benevolent spirits who seek to work through me on behalf of all of you, to bring about the most potent transformation, setting intentions into motion. And I thank you for coming in such a rich and powerful way. We say thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in through our open heart to read our yearnings and to set our intentions into motion, orchestrating unfathomable, unimaginable, magical manifestation. And so the invitation for you right now is you can make yourself comfortable, or you may want to stand and join me vocally with this sound healing, this spirit-guided shamanic sound healing. Again, holding that intention, whatever has come into your heart, in partnership with the divine ones who've gathered for this. And you can sing with me, you can experiment with your own voice, you can mimic me and see what it's like to do some of the vocalizations that are going to come through me. I don't know what that is going to be until I get into it. And see if you can notice as you're vocalizing that you are becoming the sound. You aren't just making the sound. You're becoming the sound. And that sound is encoded with spiritual information and power for manifesting and setting that intention into grand motion. And so I welcome you to join me. We say thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the ways that our healing intentions will be manifested. We know that frequently it's not like we had imagined, that those intentions are orchestrated by the compassionate spirits and all these sounds that were encoded with that intention. That sound that goes out and orchestrates physical matter and energetic configurations and circumstances beyond the beyond what our minds can foresee. And that is the beauty of shamanic sound healing. It's really nice to ground in the silence after the sound and really believe and notice how you're feeling. And so we say thank you to the spirits, the spirit of this bowl. You can find my work at shamanic.soundhealing.com. Yay, I got lucky with the domain name. You can search me on CD Baby and buy my music. And you can see me on Facebook at Shamanic Heart. And I just am so grateful that you are there and I am here and that we can come into partnership in sound and in spirit in this way. And I thank you. Believe in the magic